Happy Sunday, everyone. Hope everybody having a blessed night. This is another installment of the Southern Baller Show. We're just gonna chop it up, talking about what happened this past weekend and what's going on uh, in the NFL world as well. Gonna bring on my panel, and of course, I can't start the show without saying shout out to the mighty LDBC, all the brothers and sisters working hard with the bomb ass content. Also, shout out to the other brothers, like Brandon Bazell and Living Big with Big Reg and the Road Podcast and OTR Mike, all those brothers, man. If I miss you, um, forgive me. I'm charging to my head, not my heart, but you know who you are. Thank you guys for supporting the show. And also, we just want to also say, when you come in, even if you coming in to be nosy, please hit the like button for me, please. So that's all I ask. And if you like what you're hearing, subscribe. But also, want to welcome my brother Brent Fox. What's going on?
Hey, thank y'all so much for having me once again, man.
Man, I know you doing what men do and ripping and running. I appreciate you for putting you this show in your schedule, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Oh yeah, not a problem, man. Whenever I have time to get together with my brothers like this, man, you always gonna make time for what is important for you. So
I
I,
appreciate you,
work.
man. I
Yeah,
really do, bro.
yes, sir.
Also, I gotta introduce my co-host. Would be no show without this brother. Coach 67 Sports TV, Mr. Southern himself. What's going on, brother?
I'm blessed and highly favored this evening. How y'all gentlemen doing this evening?
Doing well, doing well.
Chilling, man, chilling.
That's a blessing.
And I also want to introduce the season of the show. JB, what's going on, brother?
Like Coach said, blessed, man. Another weekend.
That's good, man. That's good. That's good, man. Well, what we're going to talk about first. We're going to go ahead and get the SWAC talk out the way. SWAC portion of the show. Give love to the HBCUs, or Division One HBCUs, I should say.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
All right, let's go ahead and share my. All right, so this would happen this past Saturday, guys, or within the week. So, North Carolina Central outlasts Morgan State 16-10. Those South Carolina Bulldogs beat Delaware State 35-7. Howard outlasted Norfolk State 27-23. Richmond beat North Carolina A&T 33-10. They should have stayed in the MEAC, in my opinion. But I think they'll get it together. Delaware beat Hampton 47-3. A pesky Delta Devils dropped another game to Jackson State 21-6. But sorry, ladies and gents, there was no show last week. But Mississippi Valley did get the win over Arkansas and Pine Bluff. It was their first win of the season, so I know it's long overdue. But congratulations to those Delta Devils. They're not going 0 something.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Alcorn State beat Arkansas Pine Bluff, 31-7. Southern was sloppy, but they figured things out and outlasted Bethune-Cookman 21-18. And Florida A&M, guys, it didn't look good for them for 3 quarters, but Florida A&M became Florida A&M and outlasted Texas Southern. But Texas Southern, in my opinion, if the Andrew Body was still playing, this is my opinion, of course, I believe in my heart they would upset the Rattlers. In my opinion. What do you think, Coach? And I know you're going to give us the insight of the Southern game.
Yeah. First, addressing your FAMU versus Texas Southern, bro. I agree 100%. The fact that Texas Southern was all over FAMU the way they were, and they couldn't close out the deal. It's more so because they didn't have a healthy Andrew Body, and like you and I were talking about behind the scenes. Basically, I don't care what you're talking about. Whoever's the top team in the SWAC, whether it's FAMU this year, they clearly the top team in the SWAC. Whether it's J-State last year, years past, whether it was Alcorn State or Southern or whoever, nobody is unbeatable. Nobody is invincible in the SWAC. Everybody's beatable. And, that's the reason why I was upset when Southern couldn't pull off the win, because essentially, Southern led a good portion of that game. It was a winnable game. And FAMU is beatable, despite what people may think. Even as invincible as people thought J-State was last year, Jackson State wasn't beatable. I mean, they were beatable also. So FAMU is definitely beatable. Texas Southern didn't pull it out. I expected FAMU to win, but I didn't think they would struggle the way they did. And and you kind of touching on Southern. Southern, they struggled early. They got dominated up front on both sides of the ball in terms of the offensive and defensive line. Bethune-Cookman jumped out on them early, 7-0. Bethune-Cookman, they was able, even though Southern has a excellent wide receiving core with, August Petrie III, Jalen Howard, Cassius Allen, Chandler Whitfield. Basically, they were able to play press coverage, bump and run across the board. They were able to get a lot of pressure with just their front four, and they were able to play coverage on the back end that gave Southern some issues. But basically, Southern, and of course, another issue, Southern had a lot of penalties at one point. They had like 10 penalties for like 95 yards. So, they basically kind of reverted back to Coach Odom's led teams that lacked a lot of discipline. But they were able to turn things around. On the offensive side, Harold Blow was able to do more scrambling and more running. That helped him be successful. He was, able to eventually find, wide receivers like August Petrie III, make plays. From a defensive standpoint, Taj Brown, he's starting to be that guy. He's starting to be like like a Joe Williams, like a Kendall Shello, like one of the dominant defensive ends that Southern has had over the years. So he's starting to kind of enter that rarefied air. If he keeps playing the way he's playing, he's going to be that guy. And of course, even though they had a turbulent and rocky start, eventually, Southern was able to turn it around, and, they were able to get up huge. They held on at the end. They pulled some of their starters. Bethune-Cookman was able to score. Southern recovered the onside kick, and basically that was the end of the game. So they ended up winning 28-18. But, Bethune-Cookman gave them a scare early on.
Yeah, they did, but I saw y'all figure things out later on, second half, and I'm blanking on y'all running back.
Who you talking about? Gary Quarles Jr. or Kendrick Grimes?
Kendrick Grimes.
Yeah, he scored a touchdown yesterday.
And I think somebody went over 100 yards.
I think it was Rhymes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
But
it was wrong.
I
Yeah,
mean, essentially, I'm gonna be
Kendrick
truthful.
Grimes. Yeah.
You know, Kendrick Grimes and Gary Quarles Jr. You know, for those individuals that don't know, Gary Quarles, he transferred from Alabama A&M. You know, a couple years ago he was all swag, but last year he lost his starting job. He transferred to Southern. You know, because you know Southern, their running back room was crowded at one point, but you know some of the players are no longer there. So Coach Dooley knew this ahead of time, and he was able to get ahead of it, and he was able to get uh, Gary Cole Jr. to come from Alabama and them to transfer. And also Kendrick Grimes, you know, he was a freshman last year. He's a sophomore this year. Essentially, those two guys are the prototypical running back Southern has had over the years, like Lindsey Scott Sr., Melvin Williams Jr., Lenard Tillery, Steve Warford. You know, all of Southern running backs kind of fit into that same basic mold prototype. Smallish, shifty, like third down type backs. You know, for NFL type backs, you know, like a Warwick Dunn, like a Travis Minor. Even if you look at like the Chiefs running backs, you know, I was looking at earlier. You know, Clyde, it was a lair. You know, that kind of prototypical type running back, the smallish guy that catch the ball out the backfield, that can run between the tackles. You know, so those two guys are interchangeable, but for the most part, I think they're trying to feature, you know, Quarles Jr. more than anything because even though, you know, he hasn't been in Southern that long, you know, essentially he's, you know, the veteran guy. So they try to feature him more, you know.
Yeah, I saw, and we're gonna talk about off the what's going on with these offensive coordinators that um, have a quarterback that's worth, you know, that's in the Heisman running or whatever the case may be. They're, I don't know what's going on. They're getting ahead of themselves and just dropping back about 30 to 40 times and not giving on running backs enough. But we're gonna talk about that when it gets to that point. Um, Eric Dooley, even like you said, he's not that guy. But this game, he was smarter. He was smart enough to, okay, let me keep on giving it the Rhymes. Um,
Well, I don't mean to cut you off, bro.
in this case, y'all don't really have a no disrespect for Harold Blood, but you go ahead, go ahead.
Well, the thing about it is, you know, you talked about, you know, just drop back passing. Essentially, that was his mindset in the game against Alabama State, the game against Jackson State. But when they played against FAMU, he kind of made the pivot and he tried to lean more heavily on the running game. But the issue is, you know, they missed our friend Mr. Black. They missed him in the worst way.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
he's no longer there. So what they did for the FAMU game, they shuffled some of their offensive linemen. I mean, Eli Fields is decent, but he's not like some of the elite offensive linemen like Southern has had over the years. So he's good, but he's not like elite like those guys were. So as a result, Southern offensive line, they're not as nasty as they used to be. They're not dominant. So you just can't run the ball like, you know, guys over the years, like I said, Lindsey Scott Sr., Melvin Williams Jr., Steve Warford, Lenard Tillery. You know, because, you know, I talk this all the time when Southern played against Georgia. I mean, the University of Georgia, like a handful of years back, they were able to just pound the rock when Georgia had Leonard Floyd. Has had good, excellent offensive lines over the year. They're not to that point. So, but what they did was they rearranged some of their offensive linemen, and they leaned more heavily on the running game that night. And they tried to make Harold Blood more of a game manager. And truthfully speaking, bro, I think if Coach Dooley, if he was the offensive guru people say he is, I think Harold Blood, along with the running game and the defense, should be good enough to win a SWAC championship. But truthfully speaking, Coach Dooley not that guy. I'm just be truthful. I think, you know, the fact that Southern has no screen game, whether it's to the running backs, because I mean you have both running backs are good at catching the ball out the backfield, whether it's Quarles or Rhymes. You have excellent wide receivers with Cassius Allen, August Petrie III, Jalen Howard, Chandler Whitfield. You know, those guys are excellent wide receivers. You can use any of those guys in you know, screen action, whether it's down screens, tunnel screens, jailbreak screens, bubble screens, whatever the case may be. There's no screen game to the wide receivers or the running backs. There's no draws, no shovel passes, no trick plays in terms of reverses. There's no jet sweeps. None of the typical like staple plays that you see a lot of spread teams run. So that night he kind of implemented the run game, but like I said, at certain points in the game, you got to realize like, hey, like just think about it. When they're playing against FAMU, you need to score to go. You need to go down and score to tie the game and send it in overtime. There's 58 seconds left. You right at midfield. You only have one timeout, and you're gonna run the ball. It's like that wasn't a smart play. And for the most part, a lot of Southern fans, they were heated. Of course, a few people tried to justify it, but from a X's and O's standpoint, they were able to run the ball down FAMU's throat early in the game, but at a certain point, FAMU adjusted, and you couldn't do that, especially at that point in the game. It's like there's only 15 seconds left. You're at midfield. You run a spread offense, but it's a slow spread. It's not like tempo like Chip Kelly or some of these other spread offenses. Teams run out there. So to run the ball with only one timeout left at that point in the game, and that was stupid. But at the point, I think he's kind of realized that, Harold Blood is a decent quarterback, but more than anything, he's a game manager. He's not a Quincy Richard. He's not a Eric Randall. He's not a Brian Lee or Austin Howard or Dre Joseph. He's not one of those guys that could win a game for you. So I think he understands that, but there's not enough diversity in terms of his play calling, in that playbook.
All right, and thank you for that, Coach, for giving your insight on that. Now, what I'm going to do is let everybody know what's going on as far as the standings in the SWAC right now. So, of course, the East side of the SWAC, Florida A&M 6-1, 5-0 in the conference. Jackson State is 5-3 overall, 3-2 in the conference. Alabama A&M is 4-3 overall, 2-2 in the conference. Alabama State is 3-3, 2-2 in the conference. Valley is 1-6 overall, 1-3 in the conference. And Bethune-Cookman haven't won a game in the conference, and they're 1-6. Okay. Now, I do want to be honest, Coach, and I want to praise you for being always having faith in your Jaguars, because I'm eating crow. I thought Prairie View A&M was going to stay composed, but they're still 3-1 in the conference, but they dropped the game. They're 3-1, but Southern is now ahead of the West, 4-3. They're 3-1 also. Alcorn State is right behind y'all, Coach. Also 3-1, 4-3. Prairie View A&M is now moved down to third, but they're also 3-1, but the record is 3-4. So they cannot afford to win any more. Lose any more Western Conference games than any SWAC players. Texas Southern is a wrap. Without Andrew Body, it's they had made a valiant effort against Florida A&M. Coached well for that game, but of course they couldn't. Like Brandon Brazell would say, or 86 Ghost would say, if you have a giant on its knees, you go for the net. They didn't. They let the giant get up, and they got squashed, unfortunately. But Texas Southern, it's a wrap for this season. Sorry to say. I'm not saying they won't win any more games, but with their primetime quarterback, even though he was having a rough year, but Andrew Body, he was an exceptional quarterback, even with his rough start this year. But the heart goes out to them young men down there. Arkansas Pine Bluff is just trying to get in when they fit in. They're 0-4 in the conference. They're 1-6. So, Coach, I know you're happy that your Southern Jaguars are in the first place, but I'm be honest with you. I don't know if y'all can keep first place, but we'll see. I believe y'all have the potential to do so. And that's really my question. Do y'all think y'all can hold the lead in the West?
I mean, honestly, I think so. The reason being is because you and I, we've discussed this multiple times. The East side is by far the stronger of the two sides. You know, the West is far weaker than the East. So that was the reason why, when me and you talked and we had our show, during the off season, that was the reason why I picked FAMU to win the East, Southern to win the West, and Southern and FAMU to play in the SWAC championship game. Because you got to realize, even last year, me and you talked about this. It seemed like towards the end of the season, nobody wanted to win the West, bro. I mean, it was like all corner, wasn't trying to win. It wasn't like Prairie View wasn't trying to win. Southern just, with the help of Valley, they were able to back into the SWAC championship game. So, do I see Southern making it to the SWAC championship game? I do. The issue and the problem that I have is that when they play a team that they're evenly matched with in terms of talent, and you saw it when Southern played against FAMU, you saw it when Southern played against Jackson State, you saw it when Southern played against Alabama State. Essentially, the top teams over there on the East, minus Alabama and them, they beat, they were able to handle Alabama and them. The point I'm trying to make is when Southern is evenly matched with a team, I don't have the confidence that Coach Dooley is going to get the job done. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to call a spade, and that's what it is. He's not that guy. He's not Coach P. Richardson. He's not even Dawson Odoms at this point. Even though he's coached in back-to-back SWAC championship games, once as the head coach of Prairie View, and then last year as the head coach of Southern. The whole Glenda Bubba McDaniel, Bashawn McCray situation, that is just one example. And he hasn't done anything to change Jaguar Nation's mind about it. Because if you look at the way he handled the end of the game with Alabama State, with Jackson State, with FAMU, from a play calling standpoint, from a clock management standpoint, from a game management standpoint, he's not that guy, and as a head coach, all of these are skills. Play calling is a skill. There's a rhythm, there's a rhyme and reason to it. You have to scaffold, you have to build plays on top of each other. You don't just randomly just call plays. Clock management is a skill. You have to be aware of down and distance, how much time is left in the game, so on and so forth. So from a clock management, from a game management standpoint, just across the board, he hasn't done anything to change my mind and a lot of members of Jaguar Nation's mind. You got to realize, even though Southern is sitting at 4-3 right now, and they're at the top of the West. I mean, I want you, bro. A lot of Jaguar fans are still not happy with Coach Dooley, and I think the only thing he can do to silence the critics is win a SWAC championship game. Because truthfully speaking, I know last year with Shador, Jackson State was quote unquote unbeatable. Of course, that's not true because we saw what North Carolina Central did them in the Celebration Bowl. But the point I'm trying to make is Southern could have easily won that game had he not let them dug themselves a 26-point hole before he decided to put Glenda Bubba McDaniels in the game. So at the end of the day, until he does something to change our mind, we still we don't give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm just being honest,
Okay. All right. Now, be honest with you. I'm not saying I can't see y'all winning the SWAC West. I think that's very, very possible. Y'all are also talented enough to do that, but I don't think you guys are built enough to do what FAMU did. Like if Texas Southern, um, a team of that caliber, that you know that you're better than, um, just play y'all good, and um, FAMU, of course, had the horses to beat them back with a stick. In my opinion, just after what I'm seeing, um, if that happens to y'all, um, in this long stretch, well, in that next few games, I think it's possible y'all might drop one in the West.
Well,
But
well, I
that
mean,
again, it's my opinion. But
uh,
I wouldn't be surprised if the Jaguars will be on the top of the West.
I know, bro. I'm not knocking your opinion. I mean, that's one thing you and I talk about all the time is the parity in the West. So you got to
Hmm.
realize, in the West, Southern can win it, Alcorn can win it, Prairie View can win it. I mean, even, it might seem out the realm of possibility, but even Grambling can win the West. So
Yeah.
that's how much parity there is in the West. But the thing about it is, I think, from a talent standpoint, I'm just be truthful. All the teams we named, any of them can win, but I think Southern has the most talent in that group. But I think from a coaching standpoint, I think that's where the issue is. And really and truly, like I said, bro, I was at the family game. I mean, if of course, this is all hypothetical, but I think if you put a prime Coach Richardson or Coach Dawson Odom in the same situation Southern was in that night against FAMU, Southern wins that game. So that's the point I'm trying to make. I think the talent is there. I mean, it's obvious that even though Southern is loaded at skill positions, the offensive line is not where it should be. And Harold Blood, he's more than anything. He's just a game manager at this point, and that's just the truth. But in
It
terms of
is.
the defense, you have dogs on the defense like, Kelby Givens and Taj Brown. I mean, Taj Brown is really, from a Southern defensive end standpoint, he's really starting to enter that rarefied air with,
Which we
with that.
predicted. Yeah.
Yeah, with like Kim DeShello and Joe Williams and I mean he's starting to be that guy. And I mean, of course, you got Jalen Campbell and you got John Carter. So Southern is loaded on the defensive end, but the penalties when they play against a better team, they're not gonna be able to have that amount of penalties for one. And second of all, Coach Dooley's gonna have to do a much better job than he's doing. I'm not
He
gonna say much
does
more.
that. I mean, that's no ifs, ands, or buts. He does, and I believe he's on his way out. Anyway, I think it's too late. And
Yeah, I mean, well,
hold on, coach. Salute to I am Trill Will. What's going on, brother? Thank you for
salute to the brother Will.
my brother Will. Appreciate you, man. But go ahead and finish your statement, coach. I'm sorry.
But basically, uh, you know, I mean, it just comes down to Coach Dooley. I mean, he has to do better to say he came up under Coach Pete Richardson and he's supposed to be this offensive guru. I really don't see. I think if he was all that he was touted to be true for something to be undefeated right now.
I agree. I'm sorry. I was talking on mute. So what I do want to move on is to the meat of the show. Um, I want to talk about what the hell is going on with these offensive coordinators, especially if they have a Heisman quarterback. You see a pandemic of it's like they're trying to show off. Um, they're trying to show off their potential Heisman quarterback, and they're just abandoning the running game to the point where it's not a balance of running pass. We seen it in the Colorado game, of course. In the picture, you see Sean Lewis, and that's USC's um, offensive coordinator Hanson, and uh, that's Chip Lindsey, North Carolina uh, offensive coordinator. And Brent, I'm gonna give it to you first of your opinion. I'm gonna get your opinion on this. So I'm gonna go. The reason why I picked these three gentlemen, right,
Hmm.
is Sean Lewis, and I explained this on Supreme Beats Boxing Show, um Cadillac Red Show. Sean Lewis, Coach Prime, all that staff, right? Know your defense is trash. Not only that, your offensive line is trash, right? So if you know that your running backs are getting 4 yards a carry, run the ball. Run the ball, especially if your offensive line can't um, pass protect that well. Run the ball. Run the ball. So when you do pass, do some pass plays, there's that balance where the defense, you keep the defense guessing, right?
So,
So
the play action.
yeah, the play action. Thank you, JB. So it seemed like with Shedeur Sanders, Caleb Williams, and Drake May, it seems like they just want to show off. Like they're trying to win it's like they want their young men to win the Heisman, but you're abandoning the running game. Like
and it's costing them games,
and
right?
costing them games bad. Like going back to, excuse me if I'm everywhere. Y'all just follow me, right? So Sean Lewis, 3 and outs against on that Stafford game, right? 3 and outs. What does that do? It makes your defense tired. And of course, we all know that Colorado defense ain't world beaters, especially in the safety. Excuse me, in the secondary. So you run the ball to increase the time of possession. That's how you do it. And them boys are getting at least Brent Fox 3 or 4 yards a carry. Now Hanson in the middle. Marshawn Lloyd, the running back for USC, had only 7 carries. He had only 7 carries and 86 yards in the touchdown. Chip Lindsey, he's now the coordinator. I know he got the Troy hat, but he's now the coordinator of my Tar Heels. Omarion Hampton damn near had what? 200 yards rushing damn near?
He had like 8 yards per carry.
Had 8 yards per carry. Keep feeding the running backs the rock, and you keep the ball away from the other team, especially if the defense act like they can't stop no damn body. So Brent Fox, I hope you get what I'm saying, man. What you think was going on, man? These offensive coordinators, they want their quarterback to win the Heisman. They're helping. I mean, they're helping the defense. What's going on?
Yeah, there's obviously an agenda to try to make more highlights for these particular players as opposed to just doing what you're supposed to and balancing out your entire offense. And then in a worst case scenario, if you do that and rely too heavily on that, if something happens to where that particular player has to come out of the game, then what do you do? So it's kind of like a situation to where, yeah, you do want to highlight that particular player's skill set and natural talent, but at the same time, it's a team sport, and you have to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to focus on winning as opposed to looking good.
I agree. I definitely agree. Well said, Brent. JB, coming to you. What you think?
Everything that Brent said, but I think they losing game. They pissing the bed. They costing their teams wins. And I know we're probably going to talk about the Tar Heels later on, but there's no way we should have lost to a 1-5 football team in Virginia. But that happens when you forget about what you do good and who's hot. Like you said, Omarion Hampton, you know what I'm saying, had damn near 200 yards in his last game. And in the game against Virginia, he had, like we said, 8 to 10 yards per carry for every time he touched the ball on first down. The second half of that game, that VA game, they didn't give him the ball. And one thing they did was they kept blitzing Drake May. Drake May is in my opinion, is a top 5 or top 10 quarterback in this nation in college football. But this is a team sport. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And nobody's that good where they can just drop back 40, damn near 50 times and abandon the run game. That only works with certain quarterbacks. And if you're gonna do that, you better damn well have Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Brian Phillip Rivers type skill set when passing the ball.
Not only that, the damn good. You better have Joe Thomas, Jonathan Ogden,
offensive line.
Yeah,
and it's like you said with the Colorado game. Y'all know, man, Shedeur is probably the most sacked quarterback in the league. We know he can throw. Right now, you need to win this game. You was up 20 plus points against Stanford. Run the damn ball. We know he can throw. We know he can throw the ball on this level of football. He don't have nothing else to prove. Run the ball so y'all can win games. So now you got people, shitting on Prime and them, but it's to be honest, it's deserved because some of that is Prime fault. And I love Prime.
Yeah.
I think he's doing a great job. But at the same time, you need to, hey man, we know your son can play, and I think he's gonna make a lot of money in the NFL. But come on, you can't drop these games patent stats. Period. And I'm a hush.
You can drop the mic, brother. Wow. And just reading the comment section, Joe Town said, yeah, they trying to make football 7-on-7. What up, Brandon? AKA 86 Ghost. What's up, brother? And Joe Town said all these coordinators want to be Sean McVay or Mike Daniels. I agree. Coach, I saved you for last. Somebody who's actual coach. What's your opinion? What's going on with these offense coordinators, man?
Yeah, bro, I agree 100%. Like even on like the lower levels, like when we was in middle school, basically you take your best athlete, you put him at running back, you just turn around and hand the ball off. But even like in my league, it's starting to be real pass happy because, like Joe Thomas was saying, it's a lot more 7-on-7. Like when I was in high school, bro, 7-on-7 was like a portion of practice, and that was it. But you got like literally whole 7-on-7 leagues. Like you have YouTube channels that have like 1 million subscribers just because they have 7-on-7 leagues and tournaments, whatever the case may be. And it's just not like that, on the lower levels. It's all the way up to the highest level. And of course, in Coach Prime's situation, I understand the offensive line isn't that good, but that's even more so why you want to run the ball and try to, have somewhat of a balanced offense to kind of
Exactly.
protect your door, especially in a situation with Caleb Williams, because he's a Heisman candidate also.
Hey,
And
Coach, keep cooking. I'll be back.
just kind of be truthful. We talked about, you know, over the years where you see some of these teams have agendas. And I think the biggest instance I could think of, y'all gentlemen, y'all may not remember, but when the Seattle Seahawks played against the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, and essentially the Patriots hadn't stopped beast mode the entire game. You get to the 2-yard line, you have
All right.
2 timeouts, there's 20 seconds left, and basically you're going, instead of just running the ball with beast mode, you have 2 timeouts. You try to throw a pick play, not to the outside, but to the inside, and you throw an interception and you blow the game. So in that particular instance, like in a lot of these instances, it seems as if basically like Pete Carroll and a lot of these coaches, they have an agenda, you know, instead of just like Brett Favre saying, hey, I'm trying to win the game. Hey, I'm trying to highlight this particular individual. I'm trying to highlight this person, trying to highlight that person. And at the end of the day, the agenda should be winning. If you win, it's not an individual game. It's a team sport. And like JP was saying, I've seen instances where basically, coaches try to, push a certain agenda with certain players. Like, hey, he's the best player on our team. Maybe if he wins the Heisman, whatever the case may be, his draft stock may go up or whatever the case may be. Or if he's transitioning from high school to college to the NFL or whatever the case may be, uh, basically this player be perceived to be more prestigious or whatever the case may be. And at the end of the day, from a coach's standpoint, I've always done what was in the best interest of my team. I've never tried to highlight just one specific player. I just always try to do whatever it takes for the team to be successful and for us to win. In terms of like agendas and that type of thing, I've never been about that. I'm all about winning and being successful. And that was always my end game at the end of the day. That was always my goal to win. So some of these coaches that's trying to push a certain agenda, push a certain narrative, highlight or feature a certain player, unless highlighting featuring that certain player more often is going to help you win, I think it's stupid, Because, I hate to keep pointing back to swag examples, but even if you look at the Bayou Classic last year, I think if Grambling sticks with the running game, just think about it. Floyd Chalk the Ford, I think he was averaging like 12 yards a carry. He had 120 yards. Had he got the ball more, Grambling wins that game. So I think at the end of the day, I think coaches should just keep it simple. And the main agenda should be trying to win.
Well said from an actual coach. And shout out to the Road Podcast. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you, my brother. Yep, Joe Townsend said run. Shout out to Jay Barr, man. Thank you. You always here. Appreciate you, man. Mr. Shelton, thank you for dropping by, brother. Appreciate you, man. LDBC all day. I just don't get it, man. They pay these offensive coordinators a lot of money, and it's and can I ask you guys a question also? Do you think a lot of people are falling into the narrative is no more? It's a passing football's turned to more of a passing game now, especially in the college and especially the NFL. Remember we had shows about it has the running back position being it's not as it's important, but as far as it's no longer important as far as the like the feature running back. So long as you can get somebody, you can be a seven round pick, as long as they have the skills to move the chains. It don't matter. You think that that's what's going on? A lot of these coordinators are, especially if they have a Heisman quarterback, they're not they're not putting faith in the running game.
Oh, you know what my answer is. It's absolutely yes. Um, I think a lot of what's going on is stats driven type stuff, and the best way to actually get stats at this point um, is to basically pass the ball a whole lot. The running game is not as glamorous as it once was, like in the 90s and early 2000s. So you know, people don't really pay to see that. They want to see passes and people catching the ball with one hand and running, beautiful routes, and then just I guess jumping over guys and catching balls and stuff like that. That seems to be more quote unquote entertaining. But I think yeah, people are losing the real focus on what an offensive coordinator is supposed to do. He is supposed to coordinate the offense to help win games, regardless of what the stats actually appear to be. If you can't make adjustments when your passing game is not working the way that it should, then quite frankly, you shouldn't be an offensive coordinator. You have to find a way to adjust what you're doing in order to win the game, not to lose in a beautiful fashion. Oh yeah, my guy got like 400 passing yards and 4 touchdowns, but we
Good
got
point.
blown out
Mm-hmm.
28-55 or something like that. So
That's
yeah, that's all I
facts,
got.
man. You said it beautifully, brother. Just do some shout outs in the chat. Living big with Big Reg, man. He said, "What's good with everybody? What's good, my brother?" Somebody with a bomb ass channel, y'all go support, please. Oh, look what Joe Town put. People pay to see Patrick Mahomes, not Saquon Barkley.
Damn. That
Maybe what you?
that right
I'm going to
there.
you next. Go ahead and eat on that, and also the same question I just asked Brent Fox. But Joe Town got a point. Go ahead.
I'm gonna throw something. I'm gonna throw a racial dynamic in it for Town, because he right on that. Let Christian McCaffrey keep being healthy as long as he healthy. They'll turn this shit all around. If Christian McCaffrey and he cold, if he keeps being, you know, consistent as far as putting up the stats that's running and receiving, then you're gonna start to see a shift. And we all know why. You know what I'm saying? We all know why. But that's true. Even though Saquon
Explain
Barkley,
that, JB. What shifts? Just for the people that are not following.
we know, listen, right? When we look at Derrick Henry, what Derrick Henry is done is incredible. What Saquon Barkley has done with the trash ass Giants is incredible.
Right.
All these running backs, right? I mean, we know Christian McCaffrey can ball. He cold. You know what I'm saying? I gotta eat crow. I didn't trust him because I gave my draft comparison to him of a Reggie Bush. I didn't know if he was
Which is not a
going to
bad
be that
comparison.
successful because of injuries. Now I was right because he is injury prone. I was half right because Christian McCaffrey is injury prone, but he has more success than Reggie Bush because of his passing. He can catch the ball out the backfield. But if he keeps doing what he's doing for the 49ers, right,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to let him get away with getting more money than the other backs. You know what I'm saying? And we know that somebody said, right, Alvin Kamara for the Saints been doing that for years. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And other backs. So what Joseph Townsend said was deep, and I don't think he's aware of that because everybody want to see Patrick Mahomes, but to me, Saquon Barkley, in the football terminology, can influence the game in the same way in the correct system because Patrick Mahomes is in a great system in there with Andy Reid. So just picture Saquon Barkley with the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know Brent.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Steelers won't be happy that happened.
You funny. But no, JP made an excellent point. Guys like Marshall Falk and even Roger Craig back in the day have done very, very well, both rushing and receiving with the football. But they didn't get as much shine as they should have, when they were playing. But yeah, to JB's point, if somebody that looks like they're not supposed to be doing it winds up putting up these huge numbers, both rushing and receiving, and yeah, you could see a whole different dynamic.
That's true.
Because the reason why I say that, Jared, these last couple of weeks before the Cleveland Browns hit them in their mouth, I was hearing about the 49ers and Christian McCaffrey this and all. I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But as far as I just want to say this as well. The need for the running backs as far as situational, the running backs is always going to be needed. They might not get the same pay because there's going to be a times in games, and all of us has played football before. There's going to be a situation where the pass ain't working. There's going to be a situation where you can't throw the ball effectively for whatever reason. You're going to need somebody to run the ball on the ground. And I'm talking about even if it's Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes running the ball, but somebody's going to have to run the ball, period. So they can play that game if they want to, because I've seen so many plays yesterday and these last couple of years where it'd be like 3rd and 2, 3rd and inches, and they have somebody in the backfield that gets 5 yards per carry, and they throw the ball, and it'll be a key situation in the game, and they lose the game. And I've played with coaches, right, that say if you can't get 31 to 30 inches, you don't deserve to win no way and run the ball. So, I mean, they can play that game if they want to, but it is what it is.
Okay, I hear you. Before I go to Coach, get his opinion on it. Reading some of the remarks. Joe Town said fans want to see a Mahomes no-look pass instead of a Saquon jump cut. Okay. Joe Town said he understands family. He understands your point, JB. LT was a beast. Joe Town said Thompson for the Chargers was a dog. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I know if it was 31 and I had LT, damn the receivers, I'm giving it to LaDainian. Jay Barr said the Panthers traded him to get rid of that garbage contract. He was putting up numbers, and they still couldn't win. That's true. But coach, I don't know if you heard my point. I regurgitated the same point, but with as far, but I came at the angle. Is it because of the notion of the running back is no longer really? It's not that they're not important, but the name of the running back doesn't matter.
Yeah, bro. I heard exactly what you said, and essentially, I think it's still a agenda being pushed. Like the point I brought up previously, when the Seahawks was in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, and they were on the 2 yard line. 2 yard line, 20 seconds left, two timeouts. At the end of the day, as a coach, I'm just trying to win the game. I'm not trying to win and look pretty. I don't care if I have to win and look
Like
ugly.
Brandon Brazil said, I just want to see you win. Yep.
I just want to win. At the end of the day, that's it. So in that particular instance, you cannot tell me that Pete Carroll and his staff did not have an agenda when it came down to Marshawn Lynch and Russell
Good
Wilson.
example, coach. Yes.
Because the point I'm trying to make is, first of all, the Patriots hadn't stopped beast mode the whole game. He didn't get a bunch of touches to begin with, but for the amount of touches he had, he was doing well. In that particular instance, you just run the ball and you win the game. But instead, they wanted to make Russell Wilson a hero. So what they did was ran a pick play. I guess Sean McVay, he another one. He wanted to be, I guess, a hero. He wanted to look like he was the smartest guy in the room. But at the end of the day, first of all, you're trying to be smart. If you're going to pass the ball, from a coach's standpoint, if you're going to run a pick play, you run a pick play to the outside on a goal line. I mean, you can run it in the middle of the field, if you're not on a goal line, but on a goal line, the field is condensed. The easiest area to cover is the middle of the field on the goal line. So typically, that's why you see teams run flood passes, out routes, or speed outs, or whip routes, or whatever on the goal line, because it's harder to cover that area unless they're playing zone. And the Patriots wasn't playing zone. They were playing man. So it was stupid. First of all, they should have run the ball. And second of all, if you're going to run a pick play, you run an outbreaking pick play where the two outside receivers might run a slant and the slot might run an out route. Instead, he did it to where, hey, both of them ran like up the field and the outside receiver ran the slant. But either way, the pass got intercepted and you lost the game. So, of course, a lot of people, they came with the narrative of, hey, they think it was like a bookie game, or, they were paid to throw the game, whatever the case may be. But either way, it was stupid, and from a coaching perspective, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get the win. So I don't care who looks good, who looks cute. I'd rather look ugly and win as opposed to looking pretty and losing. That's always kind of been my point as a coach, because I've seen coaches instances where, hey, I want this guy here to start and we're going to lose, as opposed to this guy here who's clearly a better player. I rather, instead of having him in and winning, So at the end of the day, I think that's why, some of these, offensive guys or offensive coaches, they struggle, because I think they rather look cute, looking ugly and win. And, that's why, some of these coaches in the situation they're in,
I agree. I definitely agree. It baffles me just sitting here in a lot of these play calls, especially on the offensive side of the ball, is not the entire reason, but one of the big reasons why a lot of these games are being lost by certain teams. And to your point, the beast mode example, Brandon Brazil saying beast mode got them down there, and he also said beast mode said he walked off the field and laughed in Carroll's face, and went straight to the locker room. Yeah, I saw that interview on Club. They said,
yeah, I did also, yeah.
Richard Sherman was crying. I think I would have cried. I can't roast him because I probably would have cried too. How stupid that was.
Because they refused to run the ball.
And that was a good example, Coach, as to how, even though it's not college, but like the example you said, they want Russell Wilson to be the MVP. Damn that. Give the ball to beast mode. There's a name there's a reason why they call him that. Give him the rock, but that didn't happen. But just moving along. As far as in the college landscape, which games did y'all that caught your eye? Starting with Brent.
I will not even lie to you, good sir. I have missed the entire set of games yesterday. I had some pressing family business I had to take care of, man. So I ain't had a
Understandable.
chance to watch any of it.
It's all right. It's
Um,
all right, brother.
yeah.
But what team? What was there a game, Brent, where you wanted to watch but didn't get a chance to watch? Or
Oh, dang, who was that? That was who was that was playing? Oh yeah, I think Oklahoma State was playing West Virginia. I saw maybe pieces of that. I think OK State was up against West Virginia at the time that I was looking at it. I think it was like 24-16 or something like that. I'm not sure, but they were up, and I was kind of interested in seeing how that was going to wind up.
48, they won 48-34. They
Oh,
outlasted
okay,
Virginia.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
It was a good game.
Oh, what about Baylor and Cincinnati? Did Cincinnati beat Baylor?
They
I
they
think
did
Baylor won that
barely,
game.
32-29.
Mm, Baylor wound up winning that one. Huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then who did Prairie View lose to?
Prairie View lost to they lost to they got a bye week, I believe, but the last game they played was Houston. Houston.
Was it Houston
Houston
Baptist or
Christian.
something like
Houston
that? Oh,
Christian Huskies. They think they were Houston Baptist, but I think they changed their name.
no,
But
okay.
Houston Christian Huskies 30-0, a non-conference game.
Okay, okay.
But because they that blemished their record, that's what dropped them down. But they still haven't. They only lost one game in the SWAC so far.
Okay,
SWAC West, excuse me.
gotcha.
Oh
wait, didn't what you call it? Did Michigan play Ohio State, or is that next week?
Michigan State played. I was glued to a whole bunch of HBCU games, so I didn't catch that. No, yesterday they played Michigan State, and they blew the Spartans out 49-0.
Okay.
So Michigan's still the big brother of that rivalry. JB going to you. What? And I know what you're gonna say. I'm gonna let you have it. What game caught your eye, or you was watching?
I wanted to see the North Carolina Virginia game only because it was a rivalry game, and something told me to watch it because a lot of Tar Heel fans were saying that how the Tar Heels is we get to these like these game leads. We win games in a row, and then we'll drop one that we're supposed to win. And that's exactly what we did yesterday. We faced the 1-5 Virginia Cavaliers, and long story short, basically what we've been talking about on this show. Um, we refused to run the ball uh, to Omarion Hampton, I believe his name is
Yeah.
Omarion Hampton, and we were like winning like 21-10, something like that. I mean, we had the opportunity just to blow the game wide open because they were just hitting us in the mouth. They had this quarterback named Trescott or something like number 11. He was a
Musket.
dual
Yeah.
threat quarterback, Trescott. We couldn't stop them. They were doing the the QB read, option read, and our linebackers was nowhere to be found. It's like we were stuck in mud. Um, and like we was talking about, Omarion Hampton was getting 8 yards per carry in the first half. The second half, we refused to give him the ball. We put the game in Drake May hands, and we lost. So,
Which we should have put it. I mean, he's supposed to be hiding, but like we're not helping him out, just dropping him back.
but just like Brent, just like Coach, just like you said, they were generating pressure on Drake May. They were getting to Drake May, and we know Drake May is a bad boy. We already know that. But we trying to win this game, man. They can't stop Omarion Hampton, right? They can't stop the run. And when we had that 10 or 11 point lead, we should have ran the ball. But we wanted to, I guess, pad Drake's stats. So it ended up that Drake, had to try to, win the game for us on the final drive, and he threw a pick. So I was sick to my stomach because I kind of knew it because I thought Carolina had it. I said, man, we playing the Cavaliers. We're gonna blow these boys out, and I guess that's why they say it's a rivalry game. Anything can happen.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Don't get me started on those bipolar Tar Heels, man. Especially on the defensive side of the ball. Coach, what games did you have your eye on other than HBCU?
Well, honestly, bro, truthfully, outside of Southern and Bethune, my situation was kind of similar to Brent Fox. I had like a lot going on. I really wanted to watch the Ohio State Penn State game. I didn't get a chance to watch that game. And when I got to my mom's house, basically LSU was pretty much putting the beat down on Army. That was like the only game I really got to see like a glimpse of. But outside of that, I really didn't get to like watching it like college football yesterday.
Man, there were some good games that went on. Like Joe Townsend said, Tennessee versus Alabama was a great game. Both had black quarterbacks. Yeah. I'm glad they started Miltree again. Give that young boy some time. And I'm not a Bama fan, but I can see that y'all gonna win game. They can win. They're winning games with Miltree.
Yeah, that's their best chance.
Yeah.
That other boy they bench Milrow for was trash.
And Joe Townsend also, that's the game. I actually, you took mine, Joe Town. That's the game I actually had my eye on, which I ended up watching the highlights of that I missed, was Utah USC. I knew that was gonna be a barn burner. And again, going back to what we mainly talking about, the offensive coordinator. USC could not stop. Utah could not stop Marshawn Lloyd. Homeboy broke a 44-yard run against that Utah defense. He only had 7 carries, y'all.
I'm sorry.
See?
What?
7 carries. Because Caleb Williams, the Heisman quarterback, and they want him to be the hero, which, we know that, like Joshua said, he's about Dragon Ball. We know Caleb Williams is probably one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. But help the brother out. Help the young boy out. Now, the reason why I knew USC was going to have a hard time is because Utah also has a potent offense. Those in the Dallas area, especially, me, JB, Brent Fox, we talk about high school ball, right? Y'all remember Jaquindon Jackson, former Duncanville High School quarterback?
Oh yeah.
He was recruited to Texas as a quarterback, but he jumped in the portal and went to Utah, and they switched him to running back, and he is eating, bro. And I knew it was going to work out because if y'all ever saw him play in high school, he ran like a running back. He knew how to hit the holes.
He
And made
did.
very good reads. That's the only reason. And Jaquindon Jackson got hurt when they went to the state championship against North Shore. If he wouldn't have got hurt, they would have beat North Shore. I know that for a fact. But homeboy had 26 carries, 117 yards. See, I will give you Utah fed the beast. I give them that. It's just that USC was I mean,
They had a Heisman quarterback.
Quarterback. That's what that could keep the game close. But in my opinion, USC would have won if they would have did the same thing that Utah did to Jaquindon Jackson. And that proves my point right there. Utah knew they could not stop Jackson. And of course, Bryson Barnes had a good game. He had one interception, but he was 14 completion, 23 attempts, 235 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. But
so their game plan, it sounded like it was to run the ball for Utah.
Yeah, and they were balanced. They were very balanced, and that would, they came up victorious over those high scoring Trojans. So it was a damn good. There were some good games, man. Ohio State crawled out of that one against Penn State, 20-12. There's some good games this weekend, man. In the Power 5 world, good games. Good games.
Okay. How did that Alabama and Tennessee game turn out, since Joe was talking about it?
Tennessee, you know what, man? When I watched the most of the Tennessee game, but me and Pops had to bump out, so I didn't catch the end of it. But Alabama came back and won. But the first beginning of the game, that Tennessee quarterback, homie, like Town said, that black dude, I forgot his name, was giving Alabama the business. So I don't know how they come back.
Joe
Milton was giving Alabama the business.
Oh, okay.
So I probably need to watch that game on replay later on tonight on YouTube TV.
And I'm looking at the stats. You want to know why they lost too? Look at the running game. Joe Milton is the highest, 15 carries, 59 yards, 3.9 yards a carry. Dylan Sampson, 4 carries, 28 yards, 7 yards a carry. Not feeding running backs enough. Well, unless that defense was, because you will have to tell me, because I'm not gonna perpetrate like I watched the whole game. I can imagine that was that Alabama defense sturdy, JB?
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were hitting out there, but I think they had Joe Milton is built like he's a big boy, so they was having trouble. They were doing the QB reads, you know, and where they ran him a lot. So that's the 15 carries was accurate, but like you said, I don't know if the running backs wasn't successful or the plan was to take shots down the field with the wide receivers, but whatever they did, it didn't work. Alabama came back.
Okay, all right. I'm not. I don't care for Bama, but I like that Miltry guy, young boy. Everybody.
Milrow.
Milrow. That's how you pronounce his last name.
Yeah, Milrow.
Milrow.
That's what it spelled like.
Hell, we probably both wrong, but y'all know what I mean. They were shitting on him in the beginning of the season, and they benched him for the Ty Simpson boy.
He was trash.
Yeah. Well, he young. He a freshman. So, but
yeah, Milrow. I mean, I think somebody said it. I forgot who said it, but whoever the offensive coordinator is, I think they're getting it, but because he's fast. You know what I'm saying? He's fast, little quarterback. They're trying to implement him more as a passer, but they need to use his legs more and have him more in the play action. So, and then I think if they do that, Bama will win more games. But they're trying to
Milrow,
have him throw down the field.
Living big will be with Milrow. My bad, JB. You right, Milrow. Moving on to the NFL world. Like I said, Brent Fox, man, like y'all Steelers don't fool me, bro. I don't care how trash y'all looking. As long as Mike Tomlin, your quarterback, y'all can have Barbara Walters as your quarterback. Y'all gonna...
You mean head coach?
No. I meant what I said. They can have Barbara Walters as a quarterback. As long as Mike Tomlin's the head coach, they gonna pull out some wins, man. Even if they're not going to the playoffs, Tomlin gonna find them boys to be competitive. So I hope what we did today against
Detroit
Lions, we are consistent, because we gonna need to play like that against our conference rivals.
Yeah, speaking of that, man, did y'all wind up watching pieces of that Indy Cleveland game?
Oh man,
yeah,
they screwed the Colts, man. At the end,
They did.
They screwed them big time, man.
They did. Especially with their pass interference call, man. That was horrible.
That's right, Joe. Shout out Lamar Jackson.
Okay. All right. I mean, yeah, I'm all for the empowerment of black quarterbacks until they play up. I'm fine with that.
Hey, the only thing I like about Kenny Pickett is he's played in the ACC. Otherwise, from that, that boy trash.
I wouldn't be ready to put him in the bin just yet. I mean, he's trash for 3 quarters, but man, that 4th quarter, he plays pretty well. He rises to the occasion. I just need him to, play those other three pretty good consistently. You can't keep doing
Also,
that and expect to keep winning.
he so he's a kind of like a Tim Tebow ish, but he throws the ball a little bit better.
Oh
Kind of
yeah, he
quarterback.
throws the ball a lot better. Uh, as far as like the physical spiral aspect of it, yeah. 'Cause, Tim Tebow used to throw them mighty ducks. Boy, them things was horrible.
Yeah, he was some pretty bad balls he would throw.
Nah,
But yeah,
he don't throw the ball that bad. I've been saying like Tim Tebow used to play trash like for 3 quarters, and then in the fourth quarter he'd get hot and then
hmm
try to come back.
Joe Tyler, man, F the coach. The black quarterback won.
Oh, okay, I'll leave that alone.
Shout
Uh,
out to
I agree 100% with
PJ
you.
Walker.
Yeah, my guy Philip Walker, aka PJ.
mm, uh, yeah, since I'm not no hater, congratulations to y'all on y'all's blowout victory at Detroit. A little pissed at y'all, man, because I had Detroit's defense on fantasy, so that didn't turn out good for me. But
Oh no,
shout
it
out to
didn't.
y'all anyway.
Yeah, they did. I think they was anticipating us running a lot, which we did, but we had a good, like we've been talking about, we had a good balance, running pass.
Yeah, y'all found out what could actually win, and y'all just did what y'all needed to do to win. The stats just happened to be a happy little bonus, but y'all made adjustments to win the game.
Well, first of all, the wide receivers caught the ball, so that helps.
True.
Hey, what's going on with your
I know,
Saints,
Coach. Yeah, I was about to say, Coach sitting over there quiet as
Quiet,
hell.
boy.
Well, I mean, it's
Hey
no
man, they
secret.
fall hard. Don't do that.
Hey, no, it ain't hard for him. If y'all watch Bayou Sports Talk, I've been saying this for months now. I was never sold on Derek Carr being a franchise type quarterback. My cousin Raymond was basically saying, well, that's the market for quarterbacks. I'm like, look, if he was that guy, he'll still be in Las Vegas. So at the end of the day, we talk about trash offensive coordinators. Pete Carmichael is trash as a play caller. The Saints offensive line is trash. Derek Carr is not a franchise quarterback. And it kind of is what it is at this point, So they should be much further ahead than what they are, but I mean, they're 3-4. I mean, it is what it is. Them blowing the game against the Packers was kind of like the start of this snowball. Hey, let's win a couple games, let's lose a couple games. So right now they're 3-4. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I ain't tripping.
So basically, this is kind of like a rebuild team to y'all.
No, I mean, in all actuality, it's not a rebuild team. I mean, I say this often on my channel. Basically, the Saints and Southern are kind of parallel. The defense is superior to the offense in both instances. That they lean, Southern leans heavily on the defense, as well as the Saints. I think from a special team standpoint, I think Southern special teams is better than the Saints special teams. But at the end of the day, they kind of built similar. Derek Carr is trash, and Harold Blood is kind of like a glorified game manager. So essentially, they parallel in terms of the way both teams are constructed.
Damn.
That is a bold statement. Comparing Derek Carr to Harold
Oh,
Blood.
I feel sorry for Fields and over there in Chicago. He might lose his job to undrafted quarterback.
Bro, I would take Justin Fields right now with Derek Carr. You might say I'm tripping, but I'm just
I believe you.
Yeah,
No,
I'm telling you what I see it from my perspective.
That's logical, to be honest.
It really is.
But no, what I was saying was the Saints fought hard Thursday. Like they fought all the way back, man. It just didn't turn around in their favor. Fast. I mean, early enough to where they could have gotten the ball back and not have forced anything, and then been able to just successfully drive up the field and score. But yeah,
And in this
Hey,
context, there's no such thing as a moral victory. The way the Saints are constructed, we want win. We don't want no damn moral victories. You know what I'm saying? So,
I feel you.
hey, Derek Carr need to get his stuff together. The offensive line need to quit playing like trash. You know, we was talking about how injury prone Teron Armstead was. It seems like once he left the Saints and went to the Dolphins, Saints offensive line just kind of fell apart.
And at the beginning of the season, I was defending Derek Carr, man. I thought this was a good fit for Derek Carr, man. I guess he is what he is. He just ain't it, So
I've been saying that, bro.
I know you have. I thought it was because everybody trash, and when they go to the Raiders, you know what I'm saying? So I thought it was just the Raiders. Nah, that ain't the Raiders.
Yeah, because I mean, even last year, one of the Saints defensive ends that they drafted in the first round, his name is Peyton Turner. He had a career year last year against Derek Carr and the Raiders, and we was talking about how bad the Raiders' offensive line was last year. This year we talking about how bad the Saints' offensive line is. It seems like Derek Carr is a common denominator. So I think at the end of the day, he just kind of holds the ball too long, Because, I mean, the Saints offense has weapons. When you look at Rashid Shaheed and Olave
Yes.
and Mike Thomas
Yes.
and Alvin Kamara. And then, of course,
That's why I like him going to y'all, because y'all have some weapons. I don't, because like you said, the offensive coordinator is trash.
Oh, Pete Carmichael is definitely trash.
Well,
Stop making excuses for Derek Carr.
I'm just saying. You said the offensive. This show is about offensive coordinators, and I'm just pointing something out.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think we just kind of took for granted having a franchise quarterback in his prime like Drew Brees, because when you have one of those kind of guys, like they're hard to come by, and
Yeah,
to find that next guy is gonna be a struggle,
Yeah, Drew Brees seasoned himself, over there in San Diego at the time, and then when he made transition to New Orleans, man, he was perfect fit for y'all. So yeah, y'all were definitely spoiled for years. But now that he gone, now y'all are like, oh, you know what I mean? So that's exactly why us Ravens was like, we never had Baltimore Ravens fans like, we never had a quarterback like Lamar Jackson. So y'all better not let him slip through your fingers. Pay that man. And I guess our front office ain't as dumb as I thought.
Well, I mean, in the same situation, I say this then. My plan would have been, if it would have been me, if I would have been Mickey Loomis and Jeff Ireland, what I would have did is basically I would have kept Jameis Winston, which they ended up doing, made him the backup. But what I did is kept him as a starter, and I'd have tried to draft somebody like a Hendon Hooker to kind of be like an heir apparent, Because I mean,
I like Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, and I mean with the bad contract, they're not locked in extremely long term. But I mean, for now, you kind of handicapped with him, so they have no choice but to start him. They don't have no other alternative because you pay him this kind of money. You're not gonna pay him that kind of money to sit on the bench, So.
Well, I mean, that sounds good. But, like you said, franchise QBs don't come, easy. So I guess when they saw Derek Carr was available, y'all jumped on him. So it's just unfortunate that it's not working out.
Yeah, it is, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the show, y'all. Man, thank y'all, brothers, for jumping on with me. especially you, Brent, brother. I appreciate y'all. Joe Town, Living Big with Big Reg, Brandon Brazil, aka 86 Ghost, J Bar, Mr. Shelton, I am Trill Wheel. Thank you, brothers, for stopping by, man. You have no idea.
Josh Allen shit the bed. Town.
I see his question. How y'all feel about Josh Allen? Yeah, Josh Allen. They let a very beatable New England beat them. So they were trying to make the Buffalo Bills like they were unstoppable, but ain't now. But to be fair, there's no undefeated teams in the NFL. So all I got to say is, welcome to the NFL. That's how it's supposed to. I mean, even the sorriest team has talent.
I'm just saying, I'm just hearing all this. I want to hear the excuses they're going to make for Josh Allen. They shit on Lamar. I just want to hear. I can't wait.
Oh, you reminded me of something before I was wrapping up the show. Drake, and I'll put my Tar Heels on blast, and y'all know I'm a UNC Tar Heel fan. My Tar Heels lost to a 1-5 squad, Drake May. And I haven't seen a lot, except for the UNC faithful or the people that cover the ACC. You know, the same, windstorm that happened when Shedeur Sanders lost to Stanford, who's also a Heisman, who of course we know is a Heisman candidate. Drake May is also a Heisman candidate, and he dropped the game to a team that's
1-5 Virginia team.
So I want everybody to keep that same energy. And if you're not, shut the hell up. Y'all talking about you don't like him, showing his, his Rolex
Watch.
or his watch or whatever. It's more than that, and y'all, I ain't even gonna get into that in this show. But you know what I'm talking about. Let's keep it football, and if not, we can go there. We just know a lot of these folk full of crap.
It's saying they full of shit.
They full of shit.
Yeah, I know why they hate on Prime, but on this show, on the Southern Ballers podcast, you and Coach said out your mouth, y'all know that it was gonna be hiccups this year with Colorado. They wasn't gonna go undefeated. Coach said it out his mouth. They might, they gonna lose some games. So that when everybody was shitting on Prime and them, we was like, for what? The motherfuckers won one game last year. So what do you? He already succeeded last year, and Jason Whitlock need to go get a girl or something. He need to go find something else to do.
For real, I think that's the problem. He can't get a girl.
Well, people like that, man, I don't even waste time or energy referring to them. They're not that important.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I brought him up on this show. It will never happen again.
Thank you, sir. I agree with what you were saying, but he ain't worth it. Dave Chappelle said it first. I can't think of a worse way to earn money than to talk about your own people. But anyway, like I said, I was gonna wrap up the show. Brent Fox, tell everybody where they can meet you and see you.
All right. Y'all can still view some previous shows that I've filmed on my channel. It's Just Me, hosted by Brent Fox on YouTube. There may be a switch coming to Twitter. I'll have to just check and see if I could get that open. If so, then the next show I'll give y'all information on where to link find me on Twitter, but we'll just have to see if that works first.
All right. Awesome. Coach 67 Sports TV.
Of course, you can find me here on YouTube at Coach 67 Sports TV. I dropped 2 videos today. I talked about Southern University 2023 homecoming against Lincoln. I talked about the game. I talked about how, basically going to any HBCU game or SWAC game, Southern game, it's a lot of black love. It's a family-friendly
I
atmosphere.
love that video, man. That made me feel so. And I ain't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to say this.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that when I watched that video, you was explaining how the atmosphere, man. Because you on this internet, man. You know the black man versus the black woman thing. It get tiring. So
the gender
you
war
seen
is
the gender
aggravating.
war. So and Junior Truth was talking about this in '78 about just tired of the bickering. So when I heard that, bro, man, that made me feel good, bro, man. That and there's a lot of black people, and know how to get somewhere and act like they got some sense and love each other, man. So y'all don't fall for what's going on this YouTube, man. Even if it's a reality in your world to a certain extent, there's black folk that know how to love each other without always being drama. But go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't mean to get off on a tangent. It's a family-friendly atmosphere. It's the antithesis of the Cynthia G type people out here. You got couples that, been married for like 40, 50 years. You see at these games. I've had people tell me like, hey, this is my first time going to an HBCU game. I didn't know it was lit like this. I didn't know it was such a family-friendly environment. I don't even know these people. They offer me food and drinks and this, that, and the third. So, like, it's a real family-friendly atmosphere for individuals that have never been to an HBCU sporting event.
And that's the South, man.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
I would highly recommend it. But you can catch me at Coach 67 Sports TV on all social media platforms.
It does, man.
Mainly here on YouTube, but Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, X now instead of Twitter, but on all social media platforms.
Yes, sir. And JB, thank you for hopping on, brother. I appreciate you.
Always, man. I'm here. Anytime you need.
And Brandon was there. He in Delaware, man. You be safe, man. Stay warm. I don't know if it's getting cold down there yet, but be safe, bro. Thank you for tuning in, brother. Watch me all the way in Delaware, man. I appreciate you, man. Brandon always traveling. Check out his channel. He talks about topics we just talked about, and last show him and Jay the Six was talking about food, like the stuff they putting in our food and other topics. Man, it was very interesting. So they're not just talking about sports. It was very informative show. So y'all please like and subscribe, man. Share. Trying to build my channel up, as I've told you guys before, but it's all good. I'm having fun with this. But y'all have a blessed Sunday, man. Y'all stay safe out there. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Peace and blessings, everyone.
Y'all be easy, man.